In this lecture, we'll learn about inheritance in Python programming. Well, before we dive into Python programming and inheritance, let's think about real life inheritance. Every son and daughter get some properties or assets from their parents, like some gene features in his body. And if we talk about the real life assets, then maybe your father's car or his house. You get it by inheritance. But think about some private properties which belongs only to your dad. Maybe it's your dad's ex-girlfriend's love letters. Yeah, sounds funny, but maybe. Or her ex-girlfriend's some presents which really is his private properties and only belongs to him. He will most probably never share with his sons or daughters. And same goes in programming. When one class has some private fields or methods, other class who has inherited that class will not get access to these private fields and methods. Okay, enough talking. Now let's get into coding. Let's create three classes. One for student, one for teacher, and another for peons. So class student, and we want to have constructors for all the classes. So def init self dot name. We will have a few properties or fields in every class, and also we will have a few methods in every class. So self name, age, role, fee. Okay, that's enough for now. And in our teacher class, instead of role, you will have ID, and instead of fee, you will have a salary. ID and salary. Also, he may have employee grade. So, grade. Or we can say employee grade actually. Salary and ID. And we can say employee grade and employee grade. Okay. And now the peon class. And these three fields will be same. Now, if we look closely, then we will see this name and age fields is available in all the classes. Okay, now at this point, let's have a few methods in every classes. Like we may have getInfo method in all the class. So we can say if getInfo self and return string formatter and student name self.name student age self.age student role self.role and student fee self.fee. Same goes for all other classes. GetInfo and GetInfo. But for teacher, it will be teacher name. And teacher don't have role, rather he has ID. So teacher ID, and he has salary, and he has employee grade. Self dot employee grade. Same goes for peon. Peon name, peon age, peon ID, peon salary, and peon employee grade. So we can see there are three methods get info in the same name in all three classes, and all three methods are returning the same thing, the information of that class or object. And also there are two fields in every classes, name and age. So here we can see the code redundant or code duplicacy. To get rid of this problem, we can implement inheritance. Inheritance is a kind of relationship between class to class or object to object. After looking closely into our classes, we can see we can create a new class and name it person. So we can say class person def init self name and age, and then self dot name equal to name and self dot age equal to age. And we can have one method called get info. Def underscore get info or only get info. Let's get rid of this underscore and just simply say get info, and simply print one message for now. Print hi, and comment these lines of code. Actually comment method, the get info method, in all three classes. And now let's implement the inheritance. All we can do, use one parenthesis like function parenthesis and pass our person class. We can see one squiggly here, one warning. Let's hover over it, and we can see it saying person is not defined. So to solve this issue, we can just get the class and place it at the beginning. And now the error is gone. The warning is gone. Let's do the same thing for teacher and student class. And now to get access to the properties which is declared in our person class, we have to initialize the constructor here inside the student class. And to do that, all we have to say person, the class name, dot the constructor method underscore underscore init. Or we can say super instead of person or instead of the class name. Super, and we have to call this super including opening and closing parentheses. It's actually one method. So using the super method or using the class name which we are inheriting, we can call the init method or the constructor of that class. And inside the constructor argument, we have to pass the fields. For our case, we have name and age, so we will pass name and age. And now we don't need these two properties, so we're deleting it here and doing the same thing in every class. And we're ready to go. We can see Now we don't have fields or properties named name and age in any of these classes. So here let's create instance of student class. Student equal to student, and inside the constructor argument let's pass name, age, role and fee. Okay, name is maybe this time Maria, age is maybe 25 or say 21 because she is a varsity student. Okay, and after name, role let's say 101, and fee let's say $500 per month. Okay, and execute this code. Okay, it has executed perfectly. There is no error we can see. So if we want to print student.name, and we are getting access to name. Okay, awesome. Though we don't have this field, the name field in our student class, but still we can get access because we are inheriting the person class, and person class has the field name, and same will go for age. So let's test age, print.age. So now we have one more problem to solve, the problem of the method getInfo. All the class will have the same method, but we have shifted it here inside our parent class. Okay, one more thing, the class we are inheriting, the person class, is called the parent class or the base class. So in our case, in this piece of program, the person is the parent class or the base class, and the class which is using this class, using this parent or base class as inheritance, like student, the student class is using the person class, the student class is inheriting something from person class. So here the student class is the child class or subclass. Now let's get back to the problem. We have implemented one common method for all the classes, the getInfo method. But we can see the difference in the implementation in all the classes. Like for student, it's returning student name. Actually, it's returning everything related to student. And inside the teacher class, the getInfo method is returning everything which is related to teacher. So let's uncomment this one because our name is different, so there will not be any clash. Same goes for peon. Inside the peon class, the getInfo method is returning everything which is related to only the peon class or only the peon object. Also, there are some differences in case of information or data, like the getInfo method inside peon and teacher is returning ID, salary and employee grade instead of role and fee. Though we have the same type of method, same type of action, but we can see there are some difference in data. To resolve this issue, we can implement polymorphism. The term polymorphism is related to inheritance, and we will cover that in our next lecture.